Yeah, most definitely. So, Al, CEO of Voxbox, and we are a Web3 metaverse development company. And I'm pretty sure some of you seen our work. And as of right now, we've been building for celebrities and big brands. And we've been building for what's been taking some time to build because a lot of these brands they want so many things, the small details of what they want. But we are actually creating a platform to enhance the creator economy and help other creators who are world builders, architect, uh, developers, 3D modelers. We want to build a platform where you can build your own business and grow, and you can monetize what you are currently doing, because there isn't people like us to have our own place where we can actually build and grow our business and actually have a home to where we can let people know that, hey, we're alive and this is where you can come and find our stuff and buy. And so we're just trying to like really help push that initiative, because we notice that there's a lot of talented creators, but uh, that it's just the one thing that they don't really have is that place where they can actually sell their stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing pretty much.
I love that, man. Great explanation of what you do and how you help other people and other artists. And you talked about a point that is very, very hard for artists is to get the exposure. So that's why they're utilizing the metaverse to get to get more reach. Uh, Dark Side, man, I'd love for you to give an introduction about yourself, a little bit about maybe Polygon, your artwork, and what you're doing around AI.
Looks amazing. Y'all did a great job. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. My background is I've been in computers since the Commodore 64, so I've been around for a while. I'm an old guy, but I work with AI. My primary introduction to AI is actually in the
Looks like we lost him here a second ago, but I think he'll hop back here in just a second. In the meantime, and for him to load up, I'm just going to do a quick introduction about myself. If you guys don't know, my name is Creative Owls, and I lead the Polygon community inside the metaverse. I host the biggest networking events for the Polygon community. Has over 20,000. And this is what I do, artists, you know, create an online presence through these events. So it's a little bit of introduction about myself. I want to turn it back over to Side for him to finish his introduction. Dark, back to you.
Sorry about that. Got rugged. So yeah, my work has been in medical AI, using AI to evaluate and find good tissue and then flag bad tissue. It's the Human Anatomy Project, so it's hap.org if you want to check it out. I also have been working with AI for art for about a year and a half, and have a Google Colab notebook that I introduce people on how to use VQGAN, which is a predecessor really to diffusion and the current types of AI art. And then I've been working with OpenAI as a beta tester for a little over 2 years. So I have an extensive background in using AI and in helping other people to make use of AI.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into it real quick. This time last year, the big word was the metaverse, right? And people hopping into the metaverse. This year, it's now AI. I want to know what your thoughts are on now AI leading the way for the big keyword moving into 2023. Vox.
Yeah, so we're actually excited because before AI became like this huge thing in everybody's eyes, AI has been around for a long time. So we were already working with AI and trying to implement ways of implement things into the metaverse. Like perfect example, just to give an idea, like just picture the future of our education system. You know, you're not going to have a teacher teaching you at that point. It's going to be an avatar that's programmed through, you know, machine learning. You have an AI that's actually teaching you an entire lecture in the metaverse, and you're just taking notes, and you're able to talk back to that avatar, and the avatar is programmed using uh, the program languages to where it sounds like it's an actual human talking to you. So, you know, there's so many things that's coming down the pipeline with AI, and especially in the metaverse, the opportunities that we have to where, as the developer, we can create things in a way where we're just going to take our builds to another level.
I love that. Dark side, same question to you. Metaverse was such a big keyword. Now AI is such a keyword heading into 2023. What are your thoughts on that? Side, can you hear me?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I love that you phrased your question that way, because the metaverse was a keyword or phrase that was thrown around but didn't really mean anything. And the same thing with AI. It's a word that's being thrown out there to cover so many things. We've had AI around for a long time. ChatGPT, while very cool, is just a next word prediction engine. That's really what it is. It wants to find out what the next word is going to be in your sentence that it's going to give you. We use algorithms and have used algorithms for decades. And that's all that AI really is specialized algorithms. And so when we think about how is AI going to be helping us in the future, we really need to think about what is it that we're considering AI. So if we're talking about something like GPT-3, which by the end of the year will be replaced by GPT-4, which is orders of magnitude stronger of an AI based on the number of parameters that it uses than GPT-3 is. But with GPT-3 having been open sourced, you're now also having all these specialized engines. You have AI engines for making music, AI engines for making art, AI engines for writing papers, and a lot of fear coming from that. Developers are scared because machines are writing code now, and they think they're going to lose their job. You have medical people in the field that I'm in that are worried that our tools are going to make doctor diagnostics obsolete, that the computer is going to do the diagnosis for you, things like that. But all of these AI systems are not teaching themselves. Even when it seems like they're teaching themselves, they're learning from algorithms that were designed by us. And so it's just a faster tool. When I was growing up, they wouldn't let us use calculators in class. Now it's unheard of for a kid not to have a calculator in his math class. When art first moved into the digital realm, you had physical artist purists that said, this is going to take my job away. These people can produce content so much faster than me. But it didn't replace them. It gave them another tool. And that's what AI is going to be for us over the next few years. It's going to develop more tools that if you learn how to use them and you're already knowledgeable in that field, you will advance light years ahead of people that aren't using those tools. It's not the tools that are going to make you the expert. It's your understanding of how to use those tools in your field that will make you amazing.
Love that. Yeah, that's such a great talking point. Go ahead, Al. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, I want to touch on what he said, because he's absolutely right. You know, we're starting to see also too all these social media profiles and people talking about how AI is going to end the world, and it's going to take away jobs, and it's going to just basically damage humanity as a whole. And like he said, AI has been around for a long time, and the only thing that is going to hurt people are the ones that are not using AI. Like, if you're using AI, you're going to be in a position of where you will thrive. If you're not using AI, then you're going to be the one that will get left behind. So, you know, there's in order to program AI, you have to program your machine. You have to take it through machine learning. So it can't do anything unless you put your hands on it.
Yeah, and that's so true. You have to build that data set, and then train the model for it to use. And I think those are the things that are important. Now, I want to talk about something that maybe it's not here right now, but I think it's gonna happen here for the Web3 space. Now, a year ago, or maybe let's take it back, maybe about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, the metaverse was something that was out of reach for a lot of projects, right? You had to buy land, you had to buy an architect, you had to buy. There were so many loopholes because people didn't know what the metaverse was. Let's fast forward to today. Right now, you can hop into spatial.io and you can set up your own metaverse environment for your community. We're seeing the metaverse now be part of so many roadmaps now, right? Where after we reach this, then we're going to do this. We're going to open up a gallery, and that's something that we're seeing that's more common now. My question to both of you is, how do you see AI playing a role in Web3 roadmaps for projects? I'll start with you first, Side.
So the smart projects are already making use of the AI. And I have projects that I'm working on that I consult with ChatGPT on every stage of design. I came up with a concept. I ran my concept through ChatGPT, had it refine it. When I wanted to make the business plan, I didn't write the business plan. ChatGPT wrote my business plan. And that's a key thing when you want to have the AI do things like that for you, is understanding something called prompt engineering. And I think that is going to be something that really helps. I mean, you need a marketing plan. Guess what? ChatGPT can write a marketing plan for you. You need to write an onboarding program for your new users. ChatGPT can do that. You want to make background music for your project. There's AI projects that'll do that. So when people start bringing these in, that's one way that you'll see it being used. But you have other projects, like I'm in a fighting game called Taunt Battle World, and they just partnered with Altered State Machine. Altered State Machine has decentralized AI brains that they will allow you to use for your project, and then your fighters are now controlled by an AI brain. So there's a lot of ways that projects will start to make use of AI, whether it's on that back end side of things for marketing or discussions or something like that. Hey, don't mind me, just come sit in my lap there. Or they're using it for content creation.
Slide real quick. Steve, there's 30 seats in front of you right now. I'm going to give you about 5 seconds for you to hop off this stage and be respectful of the speaker, or I'm just going to kick you out of the room. So if you wouldn't mind, can you please get off the stage and sit down and be respectful real quick?
I'm pretty sure that's my buddy Steve messing with me. And this is his first time ever into a spatial gallery. He's even older than I am, so please be patient with him. But
okay, Steve, do me a favor, hit W and go forward. All right, Steve. I'm just gonna give you a quick nudge, real quick for you, and then we'll bring you back, Steve. Okay.
So yeah,
so there we go.
Those are ways that they're going to be using it, is the back end kind of development stuff, as well as integrating it into gameplay for users.
Perfect. Yeah. Now I'm going to turn that question back over to you, Vox. We've seen the metaverse part of roadmaps. How are you seeing AI now part of roadmaps as well?
Yeah, I agree with him. I see AI in a way where it's going to enhance and take whatever you're doing to the next level. So if you're a creator, just imagine the things that you can create with AI. If you want a business plan, you can have AI created for you, like chat. You can have it created for you. If you need an investment pitch deck, you can also do that. There's so many ways of now scaling your business instantly and saving so much time. And we all know that time is money. So, being able to use AI into whatever you are doing will help you grow a lot faster and scale you a lot faster than the average person that's not using, something like Chat GPT. So I most definitely agree with what he was saying. And, the future of where we're heading with that, it's only going to get better. I mean, we're in the beginning stages of seeing Chat GPT implemented into our society. And we all know that Web 3.0 is basically AI in a metaverse, and it's still in this development stage. Like we're in the early 90s, repeating history all over again. And the people that are jumping on board building now are going to reap the rewards from everything we're doing.
Here's an example of a way a person by themselves is making money with the AI. They asked ChatGPT to write them a children's book, and then they asked ChatGPT to suggest illustrations for that book. Then they took those suggested illustrations, put those into an image generator with those specific descriptions, and got pumped out the illustrations for their children's book, and then put it all together into an Amazon. They didn't need an animator. They didn't need a publisher. They were able to do all that stuff themselves thanks to AI tools.
Yeah. And also too, from a architect metaverse standpoint, if you are if you need like an inspiration or you need like a build to go off of or just figure out, what am I going to build for the next environment? Whatever it is, you can actually program that into AI and it will generate whatever environment you are trying to build. And I mean, it's just going to help you build a lot faster.
I mean, Chat GPT is, or not Chat GPT, Stable Diffusion is now inside of a plugin for Blender. So you can actually use Stable Diffusion to add backdrops and sceneries and textures to your assets in Blender now. That's already there just as an add-on.
Yeah, and I think we're touching some good points, and we're seeing more and more people that are getting into Blender and getting more into Unity from the metaverse side. Now, AI, you don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to be an expert to work with AI, right? You don't. That's what it was. Before you had to be a doctor or professor to understand machine learning. Now the tools are getting a lot easier for you. And I want to talk about one thing that I think is very important that you brought up is about prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is going to be a huge keyword in 2023. Same thing as the word digital twins. Would love to get your input on what you think AI prompt engineering is, Voxel, and then we'll go over to you next, side.
Yeah. So with prompt engineering, eventually you're going to see development companies like us having to, think outside the box and, find ways of building environments because with prompt, the way the AI is going to be introduced, you're going to be able to just type keywords in and you could build an entire 3D environment instantly. I see the future of the 3D environment because I always tell people it's basically a website that we've gone from two-dimensional website to a three-dimensional website, and it's going to be similar to Wix. Everybody's going to have the same tools. Everybody's going to be able to just jump on and plug and play instantly, especially with prompt. Like type in whatever you want, and it's going to build it for you. And then, I mean, you're building your business instantly into the metaverse, and you're going to start seeing that with a lot of e-commerce brands. They're going to be able to. You're going to start seeing a lot of them implementing this once it's hardcore and it's highly advanced at that point. But right now we're in the beginning stages, and it's going through its machine learning.
So yeah, when you talk about prompt engineering, maybe some people don't know what we're talking about. So I'm going to give a quick description of that. The prompt engineering is how do you craft the statement or question you're presenting to that AI. So when you're dealing with ChatGPT, you could say, write me a children's book. You could also say, I want you to act as a children's book author. You could say, I want you to act as an award-winning children's book author. The more information you give it about what kind of information you want it to be able to present in your prompt, the better it's going to perform. So, for example, one I used last week was, I want you to act as a AAA game designer from a Web3 gaming company. And then I gave it the elements that I wanted it to consider. And then I asked it to design me a level that would be balanced gameplay based on what I had already given it for its conditions. And that's what it spits out. So your prompt engineering is, how do you create that statement or question that's going to be read by the AI? And so I highly recommend doing some Google searches and watch some YouTube videos on prompt engineering. It'll put you light speeds ahead in the results that you get from everybody else. And what was the second question you had?
No, I think that was it. I think that was that. And then also digital twins, right? I think digital twins is such a hot word heading into 2023 that people are using for the metaverse. But you don't have to answer that if you don't want
Actually, I'd love to, because I actually own a company called Gemini DT, which the DT stands for digital twin.
There you go.
And that's that medical AI side of things that I was talking about, where we're taking the human body and we're digitizing all that data from CT scans and combining it all to create the Human Anatomy Project, which is hap.org, where we're able to then take and use AI to look through the tissue and say, wait, no, this is healthy tissue. This is healthy tissue. I expect these values. Wait, this value, I don't expect this value here. Flag this and have somebody look that. So you came in for a broken hip, but it also got the scan got part of your kidneys and part of your liver in it. Well, those values, while not being looked at by the radiologist, are still there. And so if they're healthy values, then we know that they're healthy, and they reinforce the model for healthy tissue. But if there's something that pops up in that hip exam on your broken hip that says, hey, we think this might be lesions on your liver, we don't diagnose that. We just flag, hey, I found a value here that I don't think should be here. Someone needs to look at this. And so we're not diagnostic, but we're a tripwire system. And so those digital twins, and this works for non-destructive evaluation of materials as well, like ship hulls and buildings. And that digital twin of the future is huge, whether that's simulating loads for buildings against winds and things like that, or earthquakes, or if it's the human body and simulating different sorts of medicines and what those effects will be on the systems involved. So digital twins will be a huge element of the next decade.
Yeah, and we're seeing digital twins. If you guys don't know, it's the same thing that you see something physical like a building. It's now what you see like a digital realm, and people are now using buildings, and they're creating situations in Unity to see how the environment will work if happen to a building, right? How it's applied, and those are the things that are going to take the digital realm and the metaverse to the next level. And I want to talk about some of the positions, right? Can you tell me a little bit about? I'll start with you, Vox. Is some of the job openings that you're seeing within the metaverse that you weren't expecting for, like, curating events and stuff like that? Can you talk about some of the demand for metaverse architects?
Yeah. Well, besides metaverse architects, I think one of the biggest things that I'm starting to see now, especially for the simple fact that we're, helping other brands enter into the metaverse, are metaverse what is it? It's metaverse. They're representatives in a metaverse. Oh, I forgot the term. Hold on real quick, because we are seeing it more often now with the metaverse customer service representative. That's what we're seeing a lot more now. We're starting to see that pop up. There's job openings for that. There's companies that's creating manuals on what a metaverse service, a metaverse representative is in the metaverse, and they're creating like an employee handbook. And like, perfect example, let's see, Dix is hiring right now for metaverse marketers, as well as they're hiring for uh, uh, let's see, customer service reps as well. Nike is about to start doing it as well. So we're seeing a lot of brands enter, with new job descriptions. And then you have metaverse architects. Like right now, the traditional school system architect of architectural school, they're slowly integrating the, the metaverse component, and those architects are having to learn new skills. So the skills that they have to learn are the ones that we are currently doing, and other creators are doing as well. So they're just learning new programs at the end of the day right now.
Yeah, and it's like you don't go to like you can't go to school for it. You really just gotta get some hands-on experience.
Yeah, most
I think one of the
definitely.
ones
My next
that I find pretty exciting that I've started seeing cropping up now is metaverse jockeys. And I don't mean horse jockeys. I mean where you are in your Quest headset and you're actually controlling robots in the real world. So Skippy is a food delivery robot in, I think it's in Chicago. It might be in Wisconsin. I don't remember where it's at, but they're a company that does food deliveries using robots, and the robots are actually AI controlled, but they have a jockey that's monitoring multiple robots and can reach out and take control of the robot and drive it if necessary to get it around a cone or a spot in the sidewalk that it doesn't know what to do. And so they're acting actually as AI trainers. And so I think some of that kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah, I think you're right on par on that, and I think we're seeing such a growth within Metaverse Architect, but also on the AI things too. We're seeing more people starting to go back to school to learn more about AI, go back to understanding machine learning, right, and understanding Python, which is one of the most oldest languages that people are using, but to write and use machine learning. And there's obviously a lot of different programming script. And you talked about robots, and I just want to ask everybody in the chat real quick. Put a yes in the chat if you are, or if you own a Discord group or you're part of a Discord server. Just put yes in the chat real quick. I just want to know how many people in here actually use Discord. And if you can hear me, please mute your mic. Please mute your mic because we're going to be speaking. So thank you. And the reason why I'm asking this is because just like we've seen in Web 2, where you log into a website and at the bottom right, there's an AI or some type of machine that's ready to engage with you and talk with you like a chat box. I think the next iteration, what we're going to see within the metaverse is having like a personal Alexa follow you around, or an avatar that's already connected to the room. I want to kind of get your thoughts on that, Dark Side. What are your thoughts on that, having that robot that you've had in the Web 2 now in the metaverse? And we'll turn it over to Vox next.
So right now there's at least a half a dozen apps out there that'll give you an AI companion. And you can set up what it looks like and what it acts like, personality-wise, all those kinds of things. Of course, most of them are subscription services, and I'm not paying $40 a month for a friend. But those types of avatars, those types of companions, assistants, won't just be for following you around in the metaverse like a video game companion that they gave you. They will be caretakers. You will see AI companions for the elderly that will be able to recognize if the elderly person is in some form of distress and can respond with necessary action. Yeah, I'm not just talking about fluff. I'm saying, how is this going to affect real world? You'll have baby monitors that are actually AI that are monitoring the health of the baby. And if the baby flips over, it'll sound an alarm, or it'll trigger the bed to flip the baby back over. All sorts of those things over the next 10 years are going to become daily life.
I love that. Vox, back over to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So can you repeat that question one more time? It was about with AI, correct?
Yeah. We're seeing AI obviously in Web 2 using in bots and robots and Discord. What are your thoughts on putting AI inside the metaverse for bots and robots?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought this up because we're actually building out, and we're going to start seeing a lot sooner than later. There's companies already building bots in the metaverse, and you have to program the bot either in Unreal Engine or Unity. You have to script it out, and we're currently going through machine learning to where just picture your personal assistant in the metaverse. You'll ask it any question, and it will give you the answer similar to ChatGPT. And it's like picture you in your own work office in the metaverse, and you have your personal assistant that's helping you, and you're asking your assistant for answers to whatever it is you can't figure out, and this assistant is just pumping out answers left and right, giving you what you need, helping you work a lot faster and more efficient. And your production flow is just the percentage is a lot higher because now you're tackling problems that you couldn't tackle earlier without AI involved. But now with AI, you're able to just, enhance your business, and yeah, I mean, it's here. It's here. There's companies, there's so many other companies that's building this, not just us. And we're gonna see this here real soon.
Yeah,
One
and
of the
I
things
think
I'm most
that's
excited about
uh,
for the metaverse AIs is customizable companion to where, if I want the brass robot from the original Clash of the Titans to be my AI bot, that's what I can have. If I want some major movie star to be my AI bot, I'll be able to. Those things will be very customizable for how you present. If I want it to be a sword that I carry around in the metaverse, my talking sword, I'll be able to do those kinds of things.
yeah, and I'm going to touch on one. I've got two more questions, and I think these are going to be kind of wild, but we're seeing, not seeing. I've heard the rumors of, when loved ones pass away, you can now create their digital twin in the metaverse and program that character to have the data of that relative that passed away, so you could always have that type of relationship. What are your thoughts on that, Dark? And then we'll go to Vox.
An absolutely beautiful concept, but having it actually be able to convince a person that knew that loved one that this is them will be very, very difficult. The nuances of construction and everything. Now, when we get to the point where we have enough ubiquitous data on every single person out there, from not just their voice and the way they stand, but every bit of their lives is pretty much digitally recorded by all the devices around them, we'll get a lot closer. But I don't think we're anywhere near being able to convince somebody that this is their ability to talk to their old loved one. There's just not enough memories that could be included. There's not enough personality nuance that could actually nail that person down until the AI has enough knowledge of that individual person. Now, there are products out there right now that, hey, we can make your voice. And yes, we can take a picture and turn that into a 3D avatar. And yes, we can even give it some custom phrases that your loved one used to say all the time. And it might be enough for some people that are really experiencing a grief. But it's that, to me, that's just kind of one of the sadder representations of it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a sad for it, but that's something that people are looking for, especially that are traumatized. Obviously, we're seeing AI in the healthcare technology, but we're just kind of curious to see how that is. Vox, what are your thoughts on that?
So, I'm more optimistic about it because, uh, we're in the early stages of the metaverse and AI, similar to the early '90s. And 10 years from now, it's going to be a lot more advanced. We're going to start to see things as if it's Ready Player One. Just like in the movie, how they were going to the library and they went to go see two guys speaking about whatever was taking place in the past. Like we'll be able to see the same thing happening in the metaverse. eventually the metaverse is just going to be one place where everybody is entering into. Like everything is going to be interconnected. We're going to see interoperability at levels that we've never witnessed before. So right now we're just building the infrastructure. If you think about it, present day, we are laying the foundation of how it's going to play out 10 years from now. And the technology is advancing a lot faster than what people think. So I'm excited for it. You know, I'm more optimistic, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think that's great. And Dark Side also brought up a good point, right? Right now we there's so much data on someone, but how do we get that data in a data set? Machine learning works off data sets, and the more models that you have, the better the AI algorithm can work for you. But it takes a lot of engineering to get those things to work in connection. So I love both of your point of views. Now, the metaverse is great and AI is amazing. But there are some really amazing things that you can do with AI, but there's also the dark side of AI. Would love for you to talk about the being ethical using AI slide.
Is where things start getting tricky, because regardless of how my ethics may be, your ethics may be different, and the technology there that doesn't care what my ethics are and what your ethics are. We have to choose for ourselves what we do, and eventually we will get to the AI wars, security wars, security infrastructures, where China's AI is fighting with Russia's AI, which is fighting with the US's AI, and those will happen. Similar to our spy games that we have right now. Those kinds of things, whether it's for data theft, whether it's for capacity theft or disabling, all those kinds of things, in the wrong hands, AI can do devastating things. It has no morality unless you program the morality into it. It's just data and it's just algorithms. So there is, what's to say that I couldn't design an AI that would filter through and find me suitable candidates for organ transplants for people that are in need of organs, and then put out that list, and somebody that wants to go harvest people and organs can then go get that. You know, there are really, really dark sides to what AI is capable of doing, and it does need to be watched.
Box, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been playing around with this for a while now with AI, and I've noticed that AI is manipulated, and machine learning. It has human interaction. There's humans that's involved in creating whatever this machine learning is. So imagine a society of like our children there that are coming up into the society.
Lo spazio
They don't
si
know
chiama
what's really
Polygon
going on. Like
Showcase.
they weren't able to, experience what it's like to not have a cell phone or internet or all these things. And a lot of the things that they're going to learn is going to be through AI. So who's to say that someone could go in and manipulate the history of the truth of what happened in this world? There's going to be a lot of manipulation in it. It's already happening now. You could go in chat GPT and type in a few things about the history of certain things, and you will see that it is heavily manipulated now. So if the society as a whole is manipulated, it's damaging. And you all know, as history repeat itself, uh, the people that always thrive are the ones that are able to control the history. So those are some of the things that's one of the biggest things that I see now that's already happening. And I just hope that others, wake up and realize that, hey, there's humans behind these machines teaching it, programming it. So that's just my thoughts on it, and from what I've experienced so far.
And their biases come through when you run tests. So, for example, one test I ran on VQGAN was I did a fantasy world designed by blank, and I filled in that blank with the word God in every language that Google could translate the word God into. And I let it run. And while I didn't know the language of a number of the responses or where in the world that language was spoken, when the AI spit out its fantasy world, I could tell you what continent it was on just by the artwork that it created for me. I could tell you that that was an Asian influenced language. I could tell you that that was a tropical island language. Those came out, even though the entire prompt was in English, except for that one word. You could see the bias that was actually in the data set that it was pulling from by what it put out there. So and that's an innocent bias. That there was no negative intention from the beginning in that bias. It just happens to be the data sets they were trained on and that had something in common with that language. But we take that to the extent of there are people out there with views that are either anti-race or anti-religion or anti-anything. In the data sets that are training the AIs on, and we don't know what's in the data sets, we don't know where the bias is. And so that's another area just of concern is, where are the unknown biases, where are the known biases, and how will those impact us using these tools or being affected by people using the tools?
Oh man, these are great points. And,
well,
here's another question.
When you think of like banking, real quick, when you think of like banking 20, 30 years ago and how difficult it was to get a business loan in the US. That was because of algorithms that they had developed to tell them what was a good investment and what was not. Now, the data that they put into that algorithm was biased from the beginning. And so all the decisions made by that algorithm were biased. And so those are the same kinds of things that we have to watch out for that might not be intentional, but that we might be introducing by the data sets we use. Go ahead. Sorry.
I love that one. Yeah, that's major key, right? How do we establish, and but also too, how do you clean the data, right? And that's something that if you're a machine learning expert, your data understand that the data is never clean because it has to keep going through the rounds of progressing it and getting it better. Ethical AI is something huge, and I just want to get another survey real quick. Let me know yes or no. Have you guys used ChatGPT before? Have you opened up that prompt? Let me know yes or no. Have you used it? If you have, say yes. If no, no. I think that's something for us to know. ChatGPT is something that I keep hearing. It gave a lot of people the aha of what AI is. AI has been around for a long time. It's now starting to get hyped because of new applications, new tools, new processes, and ChatGPT. It's allowing people that have never dove into it to dive in and to get an understanding. But as you're diving into it, keep practicing. Understand prompt engineering if you want to continuously get better outputs. The better input you put in, obviously, the better output that you're going to put it that you're going to get back in return. AI is definitely a tool to use in the future and now, and the same thing as the metaverse as we're connecting people from all over the world. Another question: if everybody can put in the chat real quick, where is everybody from, real quick? I'm going to put real quick where I'm from, and I want to show everybody real quick.
I live in South Carolina, USA.
Perfect. So you can see that the one thing with AI is that everybody across the United States or around the world can use AI. I don't know if you're blocked or whatever, but it doesn't matter where you're from, where you come. AI is neutral, so you can work with it. And the same thing with the metaverse. We have so many people that are from Houston, California, Hawaii, Canada, Chicago. The metaverse allows us to connect and integrate with each other, and so does AI. I'll also want to give a big round of applause for Dark and Vox for coming up here today. I do have one more question for them before we close out. Is Dark, what would be your number one tip for someone getting into AI?
Well, if they're wanting to get into AI as a user, then I would explore prompt engineering and AI tools. If they're wanting to get into building it, then I would suggest learning Python as is an absolute necessity if you want to build AI right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Python is definitely for machine learning, and it's going to be able to connect those data sets together. So, Side, I appreciate it. Box, question to you, man. What is your number one tip for someone getting into AI or the metaverse?
So if you are a creator and you build metaverses or 3D, you're a 3D modeler, I highly suggest that you take advantage of AI in its current state right now and create creative stories built around your environment. So if you are trying to connect with different brands and you're trying to build for another company, or you have people that's approaching you and they're trying to figure out the build that they want, start off with creating that creative story. That creative story is going to help you build whatever it is that they're trying to bring to life. So if you're going through that call and they're telling you what they want, take all those notes down, and from that, have AI create you a creative story, a story that you can tell that's like, oh, once upon a time I, enter blah blah whatever. It's going to give you that. You could build your environment based on that vision that it gives you, and it's going to help you work a lot faster.
I love that. And then tomorrow we have the Polygon Showcase, and I think I'm going to do. I think we should share the screen, and maybe we should create an NFT project or show you guys some ideas of how to use GPT for your storytelling, maybe your social media post, creating smart contracts along the way that you can use and you can start doing today as a creator. We'll talk about that. I think that's something special. But guys, let's give a round of applause for our two speakers today. If BDK, can you please put their Twitter handles in the chat so you guys can go ahead and follow them? I really appreciate the depth of knowledge Fox and Side has. I'm going to leave it up to you guys more with closing marks.
Hey, I just want to tell everybody thank you, and thank you, for allowing me to speak today. I enjoyed it. This is actually fun, being able to speak with other like-minded people, and we all here at the end of the day just to help each other out and and we're all trying to navigate and figure out the best possible way of how we can succeed in what we're doing as builders, and how we can help others grow as well in this new environment, this new world, this new digital world.
Box,
I'd also
what is your Twitter handle? I'm not sure I'm following you.
Yes, hold on. It is. I'm going to put in this chat real quick. It's Box Official. I'm going to put in a chat.
Perfect. Thank you.
And if anybody wants to follow me, I am at Mixed Reality Man, MixedRealityMan. No spaces, no underscores, none of that. So I'm always open to helping anybody out. I love speaking in places like this. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. We're going to start the next panel session in about 10 minutes. We're going to have some women in tech talk about some of their experiences inside Polygon. So if anybody has any questions, please say them out loud, or if you want to put them in the chat, you can put them in the chat.
Not a question so much as a great started, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Ellis, my life partner, has been using it for quite some time, and he's been using it with some code. But one thing I used, and it helped me kind of explore like the actual AI itself, was to use it to help me with some tweet content. There are so many things you can get out of the AI. Like I literally was just saying, here, give me 10 examples of inspirational racing tweets racing content or quotes that I can use for Twitter. And it spit out like amazing content. So I've been using that now to help me get some inspiration for content. So all you content creators, the sky's the limit. Like, let ChatGPT